Danite Radio.
Welcome to the Counter Revolution. How ready are you really?
Hello, ready.
Your mic's not on.
You mean,
Welcome back. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
It's been a while.
For the podcast.
Yeah, for the podcast. I see you every day.
Every day.
Every stinking day.
Right on. What's up with you? Did you seriously start the podcast and then start cleaning your room and walking around? And
I forgot to close the door, bro.
it's hella professional, dude.
I know. That's how we roll.
That's good pod right there.
Great
Here.
content.
Here, start, click, start, stand up, move around the room.
Hey, I'm an actual child. Get off my back, bro.
Well done. Bravo.
How you been, brother?
Good.
Good.
Actually I've been really good. Life's been pretty good.
Good.
So I guess I should say that into the mic. Life's been pretty good.
I agree with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, dude.
I stopped with the caffeine.
How long's it been?
Little over a week.
I, too, have been off the caffeine. It's only been like 3 weeks because I accidentally had this cherry soda with caffeine in it. But before that, it was probably like 3 months.
Couple months. I haven't hated it. That's a lie, I have. But the anxiety finally went away, which is nice.
Yeah.
The withdrawal anxiety.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, I was getting like really bad suicidal thoughts, dude.
From when you were back on it?
Yeah, and I think it's like natural depression just gets exacerbated by it or something.
I believe that.
When I come off of it, like when I at the end of the day, I just, it was brutal, and I think I'm done for good just because
Because of how bad it was?
Yeah, I have like zero desire to have any sort of caffeine. So, and honestly, when I drank that cherry soda, it wasn't cola. It was like 2 days of self-loathing after. So
Damn.
It really affects I must have tapped my receptors so bad that they're like, we need a break here. We'll get it one way or another. He'll either quit caffeine or put a bullet in his mouth.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, it's not ideal, dude.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one.
And I don't know, a lot of people are like skeptical of that, but I haven't had real deep depression where I can't get out of the hole since I quit. I don't know. There's nothing else I've changed other than I eat raw eggs now, but I think those help with the anxiety in general, but I think they're more for like energy. They're more of a nutrition thing, but
yeah. Dude, I'm glad that helped.
Yeah, me too. It was getting rough.
I'm hoping to be done for good, but we'll see how.
But it also makes me wonder, like, dang, how many suicides have there been because guys just can't get out of a hole that they've created by drinking too much caffeine or,
Yeah, I wonder if they're completely relying on coffee in the morning and then,
yeah,
something goes wrong in their life. And
yeah, it's weird. It's a bizarre thing. Or if it's just me, I'm open to that. I'm not saying that, hey, get off caffeine, it's causing your suicidal thoughts. But if you are having suicidal thoughts, it might be something to look at.
Yeah, maybe.
So, I don't know. It was like I finally had to give Dad my guns and
That bad, huh?
Yeah, it was getting brutal. So I don't know. It's a weird thing, and it's a weird issue. And I don't mean to cheapen anyone that's had a suicide in their life. You know, I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's a deep-seated problem.
Super complex issue too.
So, but just for me.
Well, man, I'm glad you're still with us.
Me
I love
too,
you,
bro.
And we need you here, bro. We need you here.
Yeah, and that's
Day and Night Radio.
That's the lie I don't understand right there.
That we need you at Day and
I
Night
don't
Radio.
know that we need me anywhere. I'm like, why though? What would you do? What would be different if I wasn't here, other than I wouldn't be here?
Oh, who would be super impatient with the employees if you weren't there?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
But, I'd like to see my kids grow up and stuff, so.
Me too. I'd like you to see that too.
A marker. I was snapping the lid.
Shocking. Yeah, sorry. It's a mess in here, bro. It's a mess.
All good. It is a mess, bro.
Yeah, I'm betraying Jordan B. Peterson every moment that we sit in here in this filth.
He's over it.
Yeah, he sure is.
He's sitting in his multi-million-dollar home, not giving a crap about what you do with your room.
And it is spotless.
Yeah, probably. The maids get it, though.
Make some money, bro. Make some money.
Yeah.
What else is new?
Nothing. I had an idea on the way over here, but it's not going to make for a super popular podcast.
Shocking. Are we doing it?
It's up to you, bro.
Are you blindsiding me with it?
It's up to you.
Well, you didn't really warn me beforehand what your idea was, so I can't really.
So we'll get into it, and then you can change the subject if you want. But in light of the Joe Rogan controversy, right?
Yes.
We have to talk about Joe Rogan if we're going to get any views on this thing. If we're going to get a whole 19 views on this.
Hashtag Joe Rogan.
How are people so, and it's not just the Joe Rogan thing, I had an argument on Instagram about the racism of Brigham Young, right? Yeah. So people don't realize that the racism is the default, right? We haven't had a push for racial equality ever in history. This is a new phenomenon. It's, I don't know, I guess since the Civil War, but I don't think even abolitionists during the Civil War, most of them, I don't think thought that blacks were equal. I think they just thought they shouldn't be, held slave and raped and, and killed at the whim of some white redneck on a plantation.
So, a quick sidebar on that topic. Having read some about abolitionists before the Civil War, very few were. There were some, and they were generally...
Very few were what? Thought that...
Were equalists.
Yeah, okay.
And so there were abolitionists who were like, oh, yeah, but I don't want them, marrying my women.
Living next door, yeah.
So,
marrying my women.
But there were some that were, no, blacks and whites are equal.
Yeah.
We should be treated equally and fairly. And those ones were generally regarded with the same attitude as Malcolm X. Generally treated the same way. Thought of as extremists
sure.
and revolutionaries. And some of them were genuinely revolutionaries, trying to blow up government buildings and things. But
yeah.
So, but yeah, this is a new phenomenon. Back to what we were.
So I don't when and there's some quotes by Brigham Young about how he's pro-race, Yeah.
And
or pro-slavery. He's
Yeah.
pro-slavery. And I finally, I didn't know that, and the guy presented that to me, and I was like, oh, yeah, sounds like he was pro-slavery, but he's like, shouldn't a prophet lead the church in righteousness? To which I said, because he started by calling him pro-slavery and an idiot or something. And I'm like, he put westward expansion ahead like 75 years in a matter of, 30.
Yeah.
And he's a lot of things, but an idiot? Come on, man. Now you're just being a dick, And so I was like, well, have you read anything else by him? I mean, the man's changed my life with talks he's given, and what, why this one thing that everyone did back then? Even Abraham Lincoln said in a speech before he was president, I would never free the slaves. So he ran in a slave state, Chicago, or Illinois being a slave state, on a platform of, I won't free the slaves.
Yeah.
The great emancipator, that guy, killed because he freed the slaves.
Most people generally are hip to that argument, though. They know that.
What?
That Abraham Lincoln was that way.
And so what do they say? What's the counter argument?
It lends itself to the idea that white privilege exists and was.
I'm talking about the argument that for Brigham Young.
Oh, yeah.
Because
okay.
these same people respect the heck out of Abraham Lincoln, but don't respect Brigham Young because of his views on slavery when they're the same as Abraham Lincoln's. And go ahead.
Really the popular views of the time.
Yeah. And nobody wanted to tear the country apart in civil war over it, I mean, they ended up doing it, but nobody wanted it.
Yeah.
Not you. I don't want to kill my cousins from freaking Georgia or South Carolina. That's not ideal situation for a country to be in.
Yeah.
But so he said, well, shouldn't the prophet lead the church in righteousness? Which I said, he did lead the church in righteousness. Have you read anything else he's done? He said a couple things about being pro-slavery, the default of humanity. We always get these tribes, and color is the easiest distinguisher between tribes. And the fact of the matter that you think you have to protect black people from white people, that you think that there's an inherent privilege to being white, being born white, is racist. So you display with your retarded arguments the default racism of humanity through your retarded arguments. Because I'm a white savior, I have to protect these black people. And speaking of, how irritated would Malcolm X be at the use of X in our modern society? Latinx, Ibram X. Kendi, all these weird genders that involve X. I think he'd be turning over in his Muslim grave.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see. And I hope he's a Mormon now.
Oh, he is. He is.
I've become a fan of more and more of a fan of that guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Especially the more dark crap that comes up about Martin Luther King, dude.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the FBI papers when they come out. On him, I think they come out in 2024. All the surveillance that they did on him.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be brutal.
But, Martin Luther King was the tool that God used because he had the right ideas at the right time.
Sure. Certainly. And we know he uses imperfect tools.
Yeah.
Boy, do we ever know that.
Yeah. So, yeah, why don't people realize that? I mean, they act like, the founding fathers were so racist, they had slaves. Okay, I'll give you that. They were racist and had slaves. So was the people that they fought in the revolution. So were the black people selling blacks to white people in Africa. So were the Dutch transferring the slaves from Africa to the United States. So were the Mexicans on the south border. So were the Canadians on the north border. So was the Indians that they were fighting for land and skirmishing with. So were, I don't know, the Australians at the time, the Aborigines probably saw a white dude and were like, these guys are lame, bro. They smell like hot dog water. Dude, it's not, it's the default setting to be tribal. It's a tribal thing. And the easiest marker for tribe is definitely color.
Yeah.
So stupid people, yeah, they're racist. Unfortunately, most people are stupid.
Well, and for most of history, that was just the way things were. Like,
yeah. So I don't understand begrudging the founders or anybody, or Brigham Young. And that was another point that I brought up. How many prophets before Brigham Young called for the abolition of slavery?
One?
Yeah, exactly. How many in the Bible did? I think one, maybe.
Yeah, Moses.
If you're a Christian, I don't think Moses called. He just set out guidelines for it, right? In Deuteronomy?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
And maybe he called for it but realized, this is never going to happen. And so he had to set out guidelines for it.
Yeah, I know he called for the abolition of Hebrew slavery.
But he's the one that made it
in Egypt
illegal to kill your slave, right? You couldn't kill your slave. Wasn't that Deuteronomy?
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe.
So I don't understand how you can be a Christian and not, and you can't use the anti. I don't even did the 12 call for the end of slavery? I mean, they called for the end of the yoke of bondage on Israel by Rome, but did they call for?
Not that I know of. I haven't read the Bible with that in mind.
I just don't.
Deeply enough, I don't.
How can a Christian be like, Mormons are bad because Brigham Young was a slave, said something about being pro-slave? Like, Brigham Young did everything all the historical figures before him ever did.
Yeah, and don't take this the wrong way. We're not justifying slavery using the Bible.
No.
We're just saying judge people based on the time period in which they lived, and a lot of these people were in a time period when slavery was accepted. Still wrong, but was accepted.
Especially when 100 years ago, it was still popular to think that blacks were less than whites.
Yeah.
It was probably the most popular view. You know? This whole racial inequality, you're going to have to be a little patient because it's a brand new thing in world history.
Yeah. Oh, 100% it is. And it's... Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Rant over.
No, which brings us back to
Joe Rogan.
Racists thinking that they need to protect black people, i.e., the white liberals freaking out over Joe Rogan saying the N-word. In context, you think the black people are too stupid to understand context when Joe Rogan says the N-word?
Yeah.
Did you hear about
Dave?
Yeah,
they do think that. That's exactly what they think.
You're racist if you think that. Did you hear about Dave Portnoy finding the guys that they're the ones that put together the montage and we're trying to
I heard something about it, but I didn't.
We're trying to cancel Rogan. They're the same people that were doing it to him.
Yeah, but the Business Insider, right, or whatever.
No,
it was
the Midas Touch is a super PAC.
Yeah.
And he challenges the three of them to a debate at midnight, and they start bringing up his use of the N-word in the past. He finds one of the members, like one of the founding members of this Midas Touch, he finds text messages between him and his wife where he used the N-word in a derogatory manner. Like, come on, man. You weren't even quoting anybody.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, we are crazy with that, with the N-word. With our protection of these people through our languages. And you guys heard when Devin was in here trying to protect retards because I was saying retard, and she got utterly unconsolable about it almost. And I love you, Devin, if you hear this, but you were a little unreasonable. These trigger words, nigger, retard, and fag, bring out these freaking crazy reactions from people that I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's insane the way we react to those words, but especially the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's insanity. It's insane. And it's because, like I said, it's that first foothold in political correctness that we will never have free speech unless we erode that foothold. And even Joe Rogan felt the need to apologize, probably because he's hanging out with Dave Chappelle now. If Dave Chappelle can't understand that Joe Rogan's not racist because he uses the N-word in context,
I don't think it's Dave Chappelle.
who do you think it is?
Yes. I don't know.
The one that, my guess would either be Dave Chappelle or that freaking...
Hannibal Buress.
Yeah, Hannibal Buress. Bill Cosby's Bane.
I believe that guy over Dave Chappelle. But
I think, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. And I know this. You can't apologize to the mob. That was a mistake on his part. A huge mistake. Because not only because you can't apologize to the mob, but you shouldn't apologize to insane people. And that's what people who freak out about the N-word are. They're insane.
Yeah.
Black, white, red. If you freak out about the N-word, you're crazy. It's just a word. Let it go. Maybe it gives you insight into the person you're talking to and dealing with, but not always. Because Joe Rogan, I promise, having heard thousands of hours of his podcast, is not racist.
Yeah.
And I think that race baiters like, I would say Dave Chappelle and Hannibal Buress, I know you disagree, but...
No, I'm open to that, yeah.
But the fact that he can hang out with those two gentlemen, you know...
Yeah, 100%.
Might be an indicator. Maybe this dude's not racist. Maybe he's a good dude.
And not only that, gentlemen like that come to his defense in this situation. I haven't heard anything from Dave Chappelle, but I bet he came to his defense. He's pretty loyal to old Joe Rogan.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
They don't ever turn on that. I think they feel like he's getting what he deserved for saying that word.
Maybe.
And look, people are just as complex as the issue of slavery. You don't know a person because they use one word. You don't know a thing about them. You don't know what's in their heart.
If that ain't the truth.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. For sure.
You don't know anything about them because they use one word. But and another guy who apologized to the mob was Brad Wilcox. Again, he said something that sounded a bit tone deaf about blacks in the priesthood, about how it shouldn't matter that blacks didn't get the priesthood for 100 years because everyone else had to wait 2,000 years. And what he said was because whites had to wait 2,000 years, which sounded bad, I'll admit. But Brad Wilcox, one of the nicest guys on the planet. And I haven't met him personally, but I know someone who has.
I also have.
Is he one of the nicest guys on the planet?
Yeah.
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 You think he's racist because he slipped up and said something that didn't sound politically correct?
No.
And the point he made was sound. That's the thing. Everyone's like, because he uses this in all his talks, everyone's like, he's said this before. I'm like, well, he didn't say it the same way. Well, he made the same point. The point is valid.
Yeah, it begs the question, why did we have to wait, 1,829 years to receive the priesthood? Well, and there's important questions about the restoration of the gospel there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy that people are that. This word is so blinding, and this racism issue is so feelings based, especially among white liberals.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are more white liberals mad about Joe Rogan than black people. I'm positive.
Joe Rogan specifically? Yes, I think you're correct.
But you don't think so with Brad Wilcox? I've seen a lot more
frustration with Brad Wilcox than I have with Joe Rogan. I just called him Black Wilcox. Brad Wilcox.
Canceled.
On this episode, we've been canceled for a long time already.
Oh, yeah, I did. I dropped the hard R, huh?
Yeah, you certainly did.
So
you certainly did.
And I had never used that word on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was very careful, but I'm done. I'm tired of it. And I'm not going to use it gratuitously, but if it comes up, I might use it. I just don't. I don't. And I have used that word gratuitously, but guess what? I don't hate black people. I don't want black people to not eat. I don't care if a black person moves in next door to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
I'm not a racist. That's all there is to it. You know who is a racist? Hillary Clinton. But she would never use the N-word. I bet she has, but she would never use it.
Yeah, if you ask her.
She'd never use it on a podcast.
Yeah.
She'd never say it in front of 19 people on YouTube.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't understand the bizarre.
I think also using a term in a derogatory way does not necessarily, while perhaps you could make an argument it's ignorant, it does not necessarily mean you hate that demographic or hate that thing. Like, for example, the word retard. Nobody hates actually retarded people.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Like, nobody on earth does. We love them. Okay. We cherish them, right?
Yeah.
Take it one step further. I've frequently been called a pussy by you.
Yeah.
Not under the impression you hate pussy.
Whoa.
I know that's...
Sorry, Mom.
I know that's crass and I know that's foul, but I think the point is reasonable. It's not an unreasonable leap in logic there.
And here, I'm going to use the word again, but going to one of the most boring books written in history.
Yeah.
Huckleberry Finn has his friend Nigger Jim.
I think it's Joe, maybe.
Nigger Joe? Are you sure?
No.
You just want me to say the N-word again. Anyways, Huckleberry Finn has his friend, I'm pretty sure it's Nigger Jim, calls him that word, but hangs out with him through a lot of the book, you know?
It is Jim.
Does he hate him? No. That's just what he calls him. That's his name.
And we do have to judge that on the based on the time in which he was living, when that would have been more appropriate than now. But
sure, but still,
no, yeah, 100%. He doesn't hate him.
The point still stands. You can use that word and not hate black people.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me. And
one of the most boring books of all time.
I hate that book. I only hate it because of Mark Twain's review of the Book of Mormon.
What'd he say?
It's one of the most boring books of all time.
Oh.
And I was like, really, bro? Look at your own writing, dude. Look at your own super famous, overrated writing, bro.
Come on, Mark. Do better. He's probably a Mormon now, too.
You write some you write some interesting reviews on, or you write a little satire on the racial racial situation of your day, and now people get to read you, except not anymore, because it says the N-word in your book, so that's racist.
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah.
Which other people in the book hated Jim, but guess what? There's gonna be that.
There's gonna be that no matter what.
In every society, especially when you consider that this racial equality thing's only like 100 years old. Freaking morons.
You guys are not going to believe this, but people hate Rocky. It's true.
Yeah.
There are people out there that hate him. And there are people that hate him based on his skin color, I'm sure.
Maybe. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know any specifically, but...
No, there's that one guy. That one, the new Black Panther founder that's like, I hate every iota of a cracker. I hate cracker babies.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, it was like in 2008 or something. It was brutal.
Oh.
He like freaked out on a black man for having a white girlfriend and stuff.
Oh, awesome.
Like on the street.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know.
Martin Luther King would be pissed.
Yeah.
He loved white women.
Dude, I don't think that... Yeah. I don't think that...
Sorry, I'm in a mood this morning.
It's all good, bro. I'm loving it. I don't think that... it's crazy. And we go back, and now the movement's moving forward. Now it's... I mean, they tried to cancel Dave Chappelle over the
transgender thing.
Bullcrap, right? And don't say transgender. Tranny. We are not losing that word to the big three footholds. NFR.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
In my brain, that wasn't even different. Tranny and transgender are not different. So okay.
And a wise man in my life made a valid point. We should all go in blackface for Halloween as Dave Chappelle, because the race baiting's what got this movement started. All you crazy people, are causing this freaking have set the platform for all these trannies trying to.
If you're doing
deplatform
that,
everybody.
You need to go as a cross-dresser in blackface.
Yeah,
tranny
sure.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, tranny blackface Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Do you know what that would make you?
A racist and a bigot.
An NFR.
Oh.
Now we're in trouble.
Oh boy. Yes, we are.
But I don't get it, man. Words mean nothing, and I've taken things too personally, for sure. But in the end, I feel like I'm pretty good about realizing, all right, words mean nothing. Moving on.
It's hard to watch. It is hard to watch, for sure.
And yeah, it's crazy, people. You're all crazy. Yeah. You're all crazy. If that a word offends you so bad, if you don't have something else going on in your life, you're crazy. You need to get a little struggle in your life. Hit the gym, plant a garden. I don't know what it's going to take.
Find some hobbies that aren't on the internet. If the
N-word offends you that bad that you think Joe Rogan should be deplatformed, you're a crazy person.
Honestly, what you should do if that's the case is you should find a hobby where you can spend a little time listening to podcasts and listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and you might
decide for yourself if he's racist instead of just listening to this hit job. It is a hit piece, 100%.
And it's not that you're crazy in every aspect of your life, but that is a completely unreasonable thing to be so offended by that one word.
Yeah.
Completely unreasonable. Especially if you're white, but even if you're black.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I had to figure out what that meant in my brain.
Yeah.
Especially
I'm with you. It's early. It's early, and we're off the caffeine, so.
Yeah, and we're out of practice, man. We haven't recorded in a while.
Yeah, hopefully this isn't too quiet with really loud bursts. Sorry.
I hope it is that. We're back.
So,
it's looking pretty good so far, actually.
what's the time look like?
Oh, 35 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Not that I can think of, man.
Did you want to talk about the truckers?
Oh, I like those truckers, dude.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm here for it. They're not playing anymore.
Yeah. We're about to get real unpopular again. Continue. Keep going.
I think the idea that the working class is not the backbone of our society is flawed because they are and have been for, generations. And this just goes to show that they shut the country down.
Good.
How many of them are there? 10,000 of them?
I don't know. I know there's a lot, and I know they've shut down Ottawa. And yeah.
But I'm just saying, even if it's just 10,000 truckers from across that's in comparison to the population of Canada, I don't know the numbers. That's not a lot of people. They shut the whole country down. That's the power that the working class has, and that's what we're dealing with when we're threatening people's jobs. Is big, powerful movements of people that it's a slow starting stone, but once you get it rolling, there will be no stopping it.
Yeah, for sure. And there's two things this movement has reaffirmed in my mind.
What's that?
I hate Justin Trudeau. I've always hated that guy. Every time he opens his mouth, I want to start busting teeth down throat.
Dude, you know who beat his ass?
Who?
Freaking
JBP. Like, really beat him up?
Yeah, beat him up. Chandler from Friends.
Really?
They went to high school together, and him and like three of his buddies, they kicked his ass.
That was the most sarcastic ass whooping in history.
And if that doesn't make Chandler from Friends your new favorite actor, I don't know what will.
I've always really liked Matthew Perry, even though Norm Macdonald hates his guts. But
I also really like him.
I've always really liked him. Have you heard Norm Macdonald make fun of him?
No.
It's murder, dude. It is murder.
Is it because of that freaking SNL skit about sarcasm? I've heard some stuff about that.
It's because of the story behind that. He said his agent was saying, Matthew wants to do a skit about the way he talks. He invented this way of talking. And Norm Macdonald's like, sarcasm? Brutal. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. The truckers have also made me realize Michael Malice is right about police. They're one order away from killing a kid.
Oh, I didn't realize that's how unpopular we were going to get today. Dude, first, so let me get this straight. Just so I understand conceptually what's happening. First, we're going to offend...
We're going to say the N-word, yes.
Black people and white liberals, and then we're going to haul off and offend police backers. So who do you want on your side?
I don't
Michael Malice, and that's it?
Michael, can I come hang out? So,
woof, this is brutal, dude.
Have you seen the videos, dude? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
They took all their gas, bro.
The truckers' gas?
There were people coming around refueling trucks with gas cans, and police started arresting them, taking their gas cans, confiscating.
On what charges?
The president said, take their gas.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. In the middle of Canadian winter.
Yeah.
They're taking these truck drivers' only source of heat.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that those same cops wouldn't kill babies? There were babies sleeping in those trucks. Some guys brought their kids.
Yeah, but that's 100%
So
accurate.
show me where the cops are going to turn down. And there was a cop who resigned very publicly. I'm not doing this.
And there will be
there were still 99% taking gasoline in the middle of a Canadian winter.
Yeah.
From kids.
That
fortunately the founders of that movement are smart. They're like, oh, we'll just all carry around gas cans. See if you can take them all.
Yeah. At risk of offending a lot of people, I'm gonna offer.
Don't
this
offend
disclaimer.
anyone on this show, bro.
I'm gonna offer this disclaimer. We don't think cops are bad people. That is not
not any worse than anyone else.
Yeah.
The natural man is an enemy to God.
Exactly. That's the point we're driving at there, I think.
Yeah.
And really the point we were driving at before.
But you need to watch. Look, if you're willing to take gas from truckers, I don't know what else. And you think, oh, I have a conscience. I wouldn't kill a child. You will, and then you'll live with the consequences.
Yeah. And I wonder if part of the problem with Michael Malice's point is, one, he's Michael Malice.
Yeah.
So people don't love that about him. And two, killing a baby is a poignant.
Yeah. It's a stark.
Yeah.
Stark analogy.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's hard to picture.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's and people don't want to picture it. That's what gives it its power.
For sure.
Though. That's what gives it its.
Look, with Michael Malice, there's a lot of stuff that irritates the crap out of me with him. He's one of those people that thinks that conservatives think that, oh, this piece of paper is going to save me. When some do think that, but the whole point of the document is moral authority, not.
Yeah.
It's moral
authority
to protect
yourself.
these rights, nothing else.
Yeah.
So, and he's right in that a lot of people don't take that moral authority.
No, 100%.
You know.
And I guess even with that one, we can say, you know what? Killing babies, that's the default.
Yeah.
First off, we have abortion clinics now.
Yeah.
And that's an issue we maybe for another time. But even going back into the Bible, they were killing their enemies' babies all the time.
Yep.
Like Herod did it. The Pharaoh of Egypt did it in Moses' day. That's a thing that happens.
Mm.
And do you think the Pharaoh went through and killed all those babies on his own? No, he just ordered people to do it, and they did it because it was a tyrannical regime, and people bow to tyranny.
Probably gave him these neat little tin badges. Like, here, I'll give you this badge. You go kill babies.
It was Egypt.
Here's a badge and a sword.
I bet they were gold, bro.
Oh, yeah. Here's a badge and a sword.
And they looked sick. They were probably freaking just wearing kilts, you know?
Yeah,
doing that sideways walk.
With their eyeliner, for sure. I don't...
Well, we're not trying to make light of a sensitive topic, but also we don't care, so we are. That's a thing. Like, this is a thing we need to be concerned about.
Yeah.
It's a poignant metaphor. It hurts your feelings a little bit, and that's what gives it its power because there were babies in those trucks. I would assume.
I guarantee there was at least one kid in that.
Well, we had a trucker come to the job, a week and a half ago with his kid.
Oh, they often travel with their kids.
Yeah, so like that's a very common thing. Also, he knows he's going to be on the road for a long time with this protest. He probably has his girlfriend and his kid in his truck with him, or his wife and his kid in his truck with him.
Probably. So, and that it goes back to the very first thing we brought up, the very first thing we brought up. If you're a Christian hating on the church because of Brigham Young's views on slavery, or because blacks couldn't have the priesthood till the 70s, you're inconsistent, because the Israelites genocided the Canaanites. So, you know.
Yeah.
It's history is a crazy place. There were complex issues back in the day as well. And sometimes God was like, these people are pretty crappy. Let's genocide them.
Let's get them out of here.
Not just kill them and their kids and their wives, but let's kill like their dogs and their cats.
And the livestock.
Cows, you know.
Yeah, you can't keep any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then when they did keep some of it, he punished them for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Weird that that's the way. Yeah. Weird that you have wholehearted faith in that and not in the church over a couple words by a guy in a beard.
Oh, and to that end, give Whoopi Goldberg back her job. Happy Black History Month. We're firing this black lady. I mean, look, I don't watch The View. I don't care for The View. Those people are freaking hags. They're a bunch of hacks, and it's brutal to watch. But
you know why she got in trouble, right?
Yeah, it was anti-Semitism.
No,
she said that it wasn't race-based.
That's not why she lost her job.
Oh, why?
Her bosses are all Jews, bro.
Yeah. Again, it's the same principle, though. Get over it.
She got fired by the same people that fired Mel Gibson for saying Jews run Hollywood. The Jews are on Hollywood.
Yeah. I don't know. Give her back her job. It's a crazy thing, but just correct her.
The problem is saying that, Jews run Hollywood because they're Jews, you know?
Yeah.
Jews do run Hollywood because, they give their jobs to their cousins and whatnot, but it's not
and
because
they're smart with their money.
It's not
they invest wisely.
It's not. That doesn't mean we should start murdering Jews. It just means, they kind of got a hold in there. Would you say Mormons run Salt Lake? Yep, it's the same thing. Like, damn, why is that so controversial? I think it's because he gets drunk and screams it like this. Jews run Hollywood.
Yeah, and hers was like,
Dude,
it was a little over the line.
The Whoopi Goldberg thing, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Do we want to get into this one too?
We don't have to.
Should we get canceled?
I just wanted to
canceled by the Jews that run Google. I don't think. I do think Dennis Prager's for giving her job back. I didn't hear exactly what he said, but he made it sound like he didn't care that much about what she said. And honestly, do you know who she quoted when she said it's about the indecency of people?
Who?
Viktor Frankl.
Oh, I was wondering. Yeah, I thought when you said, do you know who she quoted, I was like, it has to be Viktor Frankl.
Yeah, Viktor Frankl, the guy that wrote, darn it, what's his
Man's
book?
Search for Meaning.
Man's Search for Meaning, about the Holocaust. He
said the guy who lived in the Holocaust?
I just barely read the quote. It was something like, in my view, there's only two races, the decent and the indecent, or the people who treat people decent and the people who don't.
And at risk of, well, shoot, in for a penny, in for a pound. She's freaking right. Like,
well,
it is 100% about the indecency of man. And the indecency of man is prejudice. That's the default setting. We're back on a loop now.
Her only problem is she still thinks that race tensions in the U.S. are about race and not about decency.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The problem is she can't apply these principles across the board.
Yeah, if she applied them across the board, look, it's all about indecency. There are decent white people who don't hate black people. There are decent white people who say the N-word who don't hate black people.
No.
Yeah, it's true. It's crazy. It's crazy, the hypocrisy of her. It's retarded. It's like this word has it's the perfect microcosm of how we view what race in this country. Like crazy people. Like insane crazy people.
Although to that end, perhaps the reason we're so insane about it is because, like you said, we've had 7,000 years of racism to... It would tend to mean the pendulum's going to swing a little too far the other way before we center back up on equality and decency.
We'll see. I'm hoping, especially if Joe Rogan hadn't apologized, but where he apologized, he might have ruined this, but I was hoping he was the catalyst for the swing back. But where he apologized, I just... Because he's got a loyal following that's not going to let him be canceled. He He wasted a major opportunity.
I think part of the problem is he's come around on the issue. He agrees with him that he shouldn't have said it, and he regrets it.
Yeah, and that's why I'm wondering, because his apology said, "No white person should ever say that word," which makes me think
somebody's whispering in his ear.
Because why does it matter what color you are? If it's not a good word, if it's a bad word, why whites and blacks shouldn't be saying it? Either one of them. It's either a curse word or it's not. You got to hold each race to the same standard. That's what we call equality.
Well, and we have beat this to death, but the point remains the same. How many black artists made their career saying the N-word?
Sure. For sure. And freaking out when white people say it.
Well, and not just that, made their career saying the N-word and then selling those songs that say the N-word to white people.
Yeah.
Like, the vast majority of music purchasing power in the United States is white people. And they like to listen to black artists. Because,
for sure.
And they like to listen to music that black people generally like because black people like better music.
For sure.
And I'm sure I'll get canceled for that too, but this is just this is a thing that doesn't need to be a thing. It's featured in our favorite songs. It's featured in our favorite,
comedy specials,
favorite movies.
Here's
it's a word, but we can't say it back. Even quoting said songs, comedy specials, and movies. Spreading the work of these black artists and sharing it with our friends because it entertains us. It pleases us.
Well, how's what Joe Rogan did any different than Kurt Russell saying it in a movie? In what's that guy's name that loves the feet? Pulp Fiction. Who's the guy that wrote that?
Quentin
Tarantino. What's the difference between what Joe Rogan did, saying the N-word in context, and Kurt Russell pretending to be a racist and saying the N-word in a Quentin Tarantino movie?
Kurt Russell?
Yeah. The guy that plays Wyatt Earp?
Yeah, what movie is that?
Hateful Eight?
I didn't know he said the N-word in that one. He might have.
Thinking of the right one? Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I would have just picked Leonardo DiCaprio
like
from Django Unchained.
12 times. Sure. What's the difference?
None.
Other than DiCaprio especially, but probably Kurt Russell too, plays ball with the white liberals,
Maybe. Yeah. No, that's definitely.
So not only is it a retarded view, but you guys are inconsistent in your application of your retarded view.
Who's surprised by that? Also, I think he says the N-word in Pulp Fiction too. I think a white guy does. I can't remember though.
Probably John Travolta, probably, but I know it's. I think Hateful Eight got like the record for most N-words said in a movie.
Oh, I didn't.
Maybe that was Django though. But I'm pretty sure I know Kurt Russell says it a bunch of times in a movie, and I'm pretty sure it's Hateful Eight. But
I'm open to that.
I don't know. Here's another thing. Here's my view on it. You know who I don't think is racist? Michael Richards.
I don't know who Michael Richards is.
The guy who plays Kramer.
Oh. Yeah.
I think he got upset at being heckled. It was his first time back on stage since Seinfeld ended, and he was bombing. He's not used to bombing.
Yeah.
He got caught up in the heat of the moment, found what he thought would be the quickest way to hurt the feelings of the people heckling him, and it was the N-word.
And it worked.
Yeah, you hurt their feelings. But I don't think he's racist. I think you can scream the N-word in a black person's face and not be racist.
I think... Have you heard Dave Chappelle's bit about this?
I don't know.
He talks about the Kramer thing.
I don't know. I've only heard Cat Williams.
He says, Kramer, what he said was completely inappropriate. But that's a black man in me. There's also a stand-up comedian in me that went, Kramer had a bad night.
That's exactly it, man.
It's like, no, that's true. What he said was wildly inappropriate, way over the line. But
Dave Chappelle
you've
says
never bombed on
inappropriate
stage.
stuff. Yeah, that's
Like,
the whole thing.
You don't know what the pressure of that is like. Like, come on.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 people on earth who can relate to what he's going through right there, bombing on stage. And all of them are like, yikes, that got way out of hand, but
yeah.
sorry, man.
I
Do better next time. And I think the punchline is, you'll get him next time, Kramer.
Which he won't. He hasn't worked since.
No, he has not. But what did Cat Williams say? Same thing?
No, Cat Williams wasn't. I'd love to see him say the N-word up in here. We kill that mother ever, because all those black people are savages and we have no control over our actions when we hear the N-word. It's retarded. It's so bad and racist to act like this. It's retarded.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Kramer had a bad night.
I agree. I don't think he's racist.
I don't think he did the right thing by any means.
Sure. But who does it every time?
Yeah.
Right?
We need to have a little more understanding and a little less.
We're not all completely magnificent in our communication like I am.
Also, to that end, if I was that youth in the heckler in the audience, do you not think he went home? Do you not think he remembers this to this day? And he's like, yeah,
well,
I got him to freaking lose this. I won that interaction.
I think he got a bunch of money for it too, didn't he?
Probably. But even without the money, there's still the knowledge of, yeah, I took a professional stand-up comedian, a multimillionaire for stand-up comedy, and I basically reduced him to tears on stage.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Who won there, really? It wasn't Kramer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm not advocating to heckle stand-up comedians. I love stand-up comedy. The art form is incredible to me. I'm a huge fan. But
I don't know. Unless they're bombing, unless they suck, then heckle the hell out of them,
Yeah, that's true. That's the price you pay to get better.
Yeah.
You got to bomb sometimes and get heckled. And maybe I'll just be giving you a chance to put a heckler in their place and freaking save your whole.
The Michael Richards video is quite funny. I don't know. And that's what I think Rogan should have done with his video, with his montage. He should have played it on the podcast and laughed the whole way through it.
Oh, maybe.
I just don't see
that would
another
for sure
way to
have
handle
not
it.
Been posted on Spotify. But
I just don't.
I remember that bit.
And I don't know how much the people of Spotify are like, look, man, you got to apologize for this, It's in your contract that you got to protect our brand or something,
I'm sure there was some pressure from there. 100% there was some pressure from Spotify. No doubt in my mind.
I get...
And
go ahead.
I've been impressed from what I've seen with Spotify, really, overall, with how they've handled Joe Rogan. He really has not been censored that much, and everything that has been censored, he was kind of like, yeah, I didn't feel great about that episode anyways. I was involved in all the ones that got taken down. And until now, Spotify did it without his permission, but,
Yeah. I think that Joe Rogan, on Joe Rogan's part, that's a misunderstanding of what his value really is. And people don't care what's said in the conversation. People love that the conversations are being had.
Yeah.
The average, not crazy person. You know,
that's
all it is. It doesn't matter. His fans, and it's the people who are trying to cancel him obviously care what's being said, but his fans don't care what's being said. They're just glad the conversation's happening.
Yeah.
In an entertaining fashion.
Yeah. That's all that they're looking for.
And so every time you cancel, whether it be Joe Rogan or Spotify deletes an episode or a combination of the two, it's hurting his brand. That's what his brand is these conversations can be had.
It is a failure to guard the gate. For sure.
We can talk about baby eating pedophiles running the world with Alex Jones one day, and then talk about the importance of broccoli in your diet with Dr. Rhonda Patrick the next, you know.
Yeah.
That's his whole value. He's not the mainstream news shoving stupid facts and stupid lies down your throat. He's just having conversations with people.
Also, if you hate Alex Jones, you're an idiot.
And and it's not like he doesn't call people out when he feels like, you know, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
They have a conversation. And sometimes when Joe's calling people out, I feel like he's the guy in the wrong. But sometimes he's the guy on the right. That's what a conversation is. That's what people want to hear.
Especially conversation with, you know, extremely intelligent people, which is who Joe Rogan interviews almost exclusively.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he apologized for, I guess I should be more careful with the medical views I put on because I have such a huge platform. But it's like, dude, you put virologists,
you doctors a voice.
You put two virologists who disagree with the narrative.
Mainstream narrative.
What are you talking about? You know, that's two of the most important conversations you've had. And I think that is Sam Harris in his ear. Because Sam Harris I don't know what his deal is.
He's off the chain for the vaccine.
He's like, we got to force this vaccine down everyone's throat. We should be vaccinating people, anyone above 6. And the weird thing about Sam Harris is like, he's an absolutely frigid person. I can't imagine how he's married. I don't know. I think his wife, I don't know.
He's cold as a stone.
I don't know how he even has friends other than people who want to partake in his brilliance. But he is a genius. He agrees with, he doesn't agree with the race relation thing that I said, but he does agree that we're crazy over the N-word. We go crazy over that word. And then at the same time, he is nuts about, we have to agree with the medical establishment. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And even like Jordan Peterson, who's like prides himself in being a dope scientist, is like, this whole pandemic thing's pretty fishy. You know? And Sam Harris is like, nope, nothing fishy going on here. Get the vaccine. We got to save old people. What are you doing? Why aren't you wearing your mask in public?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Figure it out,
It's a
people.
weird dichotomy in Sam Harris that I don't understand.
Maybe they paid him off.
Especially when you can see the medical establishment doing the same thing that the political establishment does to Sam Harris anytime he talks about Islam. They try and cancel him. And they're doing the same thing to all these people. Like, how do you not see the same tactics being used against the enemies of the medical establishment?
Dude, it comes back to the truckers, man.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Yeah.
They're protecting rights the way it was meant to be.
Yep.
Praise God.
Praise God. And truckers. Don't praise truckers. Just high five them.
That was a rough hour to start, but I think we pulled through. You got anything else?
No.
Okay.
We promised to do a weekly episode from here on out. Sorry.
Again. We promise again.
We promise again.
We
Sorry,
will
we've been
repent and be
slackers.
better.
Yeah.
I got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Wake my boy up for church.
Yeah. All right.
You want to come?
Maybe. Okay, folks. Have a good week. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and God bless.
All right.
This podcast was produced by Danite Studios, a subsidiary of Danite Holdings.